welcome to week number 10 of our Monday morning quarterback clips. Please welcome Victor Sanchez.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Commissioner's Top 10 Plays. This week we'll be going over some mechanics, and we'll also be going over some illegal forward passes. And we are going to start, as we always do, with a free kick play. I want to bring your attention to the player towards the top of the screen. Right here, we're going to see how when he crosses the 40-yard line where he is. And we don't get a flag here, and it is properly called not offside. We want this player to be a full yard ahead of the ball when it's kicked. Right there, he's barely a step over. So we want this to be a lot bigger, especially on a regular free kick. On an onside kick, we'd want him to be the letter of the law, but in this case, we can let this go and we correctly pass on calling offside here. The next thing we want to look at is the action by number 17 and the correct ruling for a kick touched by the receivers, and then the receiver goes out of bounds. You're going to see this ball bounce, and he's going to jump up, catch it, and then land out of bounds. So let me rewind that for you, and we'll play it in slow motion. So you can see that ball's inbounds. He jumps from inbounds, catches the ball, and then lands out of bounds. So this is not a free kick out of bounds. This is a ball legally touched in the field of play because he came from the field of play. He was not out of bounds when he touched this ball. And therefore, this is correctly ruled free kick recovered by the receiving team and out of bounds at the spot where he went out of bounds. So good job on this play. Play number 2 today involves a lot of things on this play. There's 3 players we want to keep a track of on this play. We're going to start with the defensive tackle in his action. He's going to kick the blocker who's trying to block him low, and that's going to be flagged properly. And then we want to look at the action of the wingback and this linebacker that's also identified here. And we want to be able to see this foul and call the first foul. We get the second foul, but we missed the first foul. So let's look at this defensive tackle. He's going to get blocked low, and you're going to see him right there. He's going to kick his opponent. Our head linesman sees this, and he's going to flag this properly. The next thing we want to look at is the action by our wingback. On the linebacker, you can see right there where it's paused. You can see he's got it by the back of the helmet. Our line judge is in a great position to see this, so we should have a flag for a face mask. If you grab the inside of the helmet, any opening, that is a face mask foul. And number 21 is going to drag him to the ground, and then you're going to see the defender, the offensive player, hit him in the face with an elbow, and that's going to get flagged as well. We missed the first foul for the face mask, but we get the retaliation. And then the other thing to notice is these coaches that are in the white, we need to get these coaches back. So sideline officials, make sure that you're taking care of your sideline. This is definitely worth sideline infraction as they get in the way of this line judge being able to spot this ball accurately and correctly. So make sure we're watching for these illegal acts, and talk about this play in your pregame so that way we can make sure that we know where we're looking to see these illegal fouls. Our third play today is going to involve a 2-play vignette. We're going to focus our attention on our head linesman at the top of the screen and the spot of forward progress on this play. We're going to see that as the play develops, our head linesman is going to be moving up the field too soon, and this ball is caught right here, right about the 36, 37-yard line. And the runner is going to be driven back into the lap of the head linesman. So right there we have possession. We have a catch at the 37-yard line. He's going to get driven back into the official and almost take him off his feet. If we look at the bottom, we're going to see that our line judge has a crossfield spot right at where forward progress should be. So we need to look across to get this forward progress spot. And line judge, you should be coming in with your hand up. And if you need to come all the way to the hash or across the hash, come across so we can get this spot accurately, because you're going to see on the next play, we're going to end up spotting this ball back at the 40, and we cheat this team out of 3 yards on this particular play. So 2 things to take away from this play. Number 1, don't move too early. We can always get crossfield mechanics when we have plays that end up with forward progress ahead of us. And if you have crossfield mechanics spot, come across strong and indicate that you have the forward progress spot to help your crossfield partner. Play 4 involves our mechanics with our line judge down at the bottom. You can see him highlighted here. Now, we know when the ball is snapped from this part of the field that both line of scrimmage officials have goal line responsibility. And so this is a case where we want you to be moving to get to the goal line so you can judge the goal line. As you see, this official is going to get a slow start on moving down to the goal line. And when this pass comes his way, he's there not in position to rule on touchdown and whether or not this is a catch. Now, whether or not this is a catch, we want to discuss that as well. So first off, let's get to the goal line so we can tell if this is a catch, whether or not this ball crossed the plane of the goal line. But what we want to talk about is this is a catch. So we see at this point we have the receiver who appears to have control of the ball in his hands, and we have a defender right there. And then we're going to see the ball tussle out and land out of bounds. Now the official signals touchdown, but we really think that this is an incomplete pass. The receiver never really completed the act of a catch. He never establishes and maintains control, and that ball comes out so quick that we would really rather this be an incomplete pass because he never really established control. Yes, he had a body part down, but he never did anything common to the game in terms of turning up field, maintaining possession, taking a couple of steps. That defender was there immediately to contest this pass. So 2 pieces on this play. 1, let's get to the goal line, and 2, let's go through the process of what is a catch and rule accordingly. This should have been an incomplete pass. Play 5 today is a pretty complex play, and we're going to see 2 fouls on this play. We're going to focus on 2 players. First, we're going to focus on the left guard. We're going to see him do a hip throw takedown on the defender. We missed this foul, and then we're going to look at this wing back, and we're going to look at a hold that happens at the point of attack, and we're going to miss this foul, but I don't know who can get this foul given that we have 5-man mechanics. Maybe the back judge could have got it, but I really doubt that the back judge would have had a good shot at catching this foul. So we'll let it play. Let's watch what this right guard does. Grabs him, throws him to the ground, and we don't have a flag for this. We really should have a flag on this particular play. I'll let it play again. Umpire, this is your key, so you should have a flag for holding on that. Now here we have a second hold that's coming from our, it's coming from our wing back. Now the wing back's key, this belongs to the head linesman. So the head linesman could get this, but as this play develops, he's going to be shielded by other players, so we don't think that he'd be able to see this. Umpire may be able to get to it if he didn't have that hold already that he would be looking at, and the back judge maybe not gets to this, but since his key is relatively pressed, we'd rather have our back judge on the outside looking at this. But you can see the action by this offensive player, number 34, grabs and restricts right there at the point of attack. We don't know who can get this. Again, we don't always have coverage of all areas in a 5-man mechanic setup, but it's going to spring this runner, and he's going to go for a really long gain. So talk about this play, see if maybe somebody would be able to get this. Back judge, we think you probably have the best shot. Line judge, that is your key, but given that there's so much action happening in front of you, we don't know that you could be able to see that happen given its location on the field. Play 6 is going to be another tough call to get on the field. We really just don't have coverage for this. We're snapping inside the 10, so our line of scrimmage officials are going to start making their way down to the goal line. And we're going to see that this running back here is going to be held as he comes through the line. And so who can get this? Maybe our line of scrimmage official can get it. You can see right there the defender has a right arm out and he's grabbing the collar of the receiver. The ball is going to be passed and it's going to fall incomplete. Now this is not defensive pass interference because it happens behind the line of scrimmage. This can only be defensive holding. So who can get this? Maybe the referee, but the referee has a quarterback that's under duress, so he has to stay with his quarterback. Maybe the head linesman. He seems to be looking back in that general direction, but he's also moving at the same time, so he probably has the best chance to get this foul. It's just another tough play to get. If we do see this, we need to remember that if the foul occurs behind the line of scrimmage, that this is going to be a defensive holding foul and not defensive pass interference. Play 7 today is a question that came from a coach about illegal man downfield. The coach questioned why this was not illegal man downfield. You're going to see that we're snapping this ball at the 43. Lineman downfield past the 45 would be illegally downfield if the ball crossed the line of scrimmage and was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. In this case, we're going to have a screen pass that's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Our ring officials also are going to move down too soon. So you're going to see them already moving. They've given up the line of scrimmage. So they won't be able to judge where this ball was caught, whether it was caught behind or beyond the line of scrimmage. As it turns out, this ball is caught right around the 42-yard line. And so this is a perfectly legal screen pass. The linemen downfield are not illegal because the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage. So officials, hold that line of scrimmage as long as you can, so that way you can judge these types of plays, and we can get them right every time. Play 8, we get a correct no call for intentional grounding on this play. We're going to see a quarterback who's still inside the free blocking zone, scrambling, but does not leave the free blocking zone, and is going to throw the ball that doesn't reach the line of scrimmage, but we have number 82 in the area, which makes this a legally grounded ball. So a correct no call here for intentional grounding. We do have a receiver in the area, and we would not want this called for intentional grounding, and the crew did exactly that. Correct no call for intentional grounding. Good job on this play. Our next play is another intentional grounding call that is correctly called not intentional grounding. We're going to have a quarterback that is going to scramble outside of the free blocking zone and going to throw the ball away. We have our line judge who's moving down the field, probably a little too soon, but those receivers did go deep. This ball is going to cross the line of scrimmage, and therefore we do not have intentional grounding. Now the ball was snapped at the 20, so we just need that ball was snapped at the 25, so we just need to know that the ball would have gotten to the 25, whether inbounds or out of bounds, on this type of play. This was correctly not called intentional grounding, as the quarterback was outside of the tackle box and legally grounded the ball that crossed the line of scrimmage. Good job on this play again. Play 10 today is going to be a correct call for illegal forward pass. We're actually going to get 2 forward passes on the same down, which is a violation of the rules. We're going to see the first pass happen here right about the 14-yard line, which is going to go forward and be caught by this receiver at the 15. And then this receiver is going to throw a second forward pass, and we get this for illegal forward pass on the field. So good job to officiate this correctly. We have illegal forward pass. Excellent work here. Our bonus clip this week isn't really a clip, it's more of an explanation of a rule. What we see here is immediately after a shotgun quarterback had spiked a ball with 7 seconds left on the clock. So with 7 seconds left in the half, the quarterback spikes the ball from a shotgun formation, and then the defense calls timeout. The defensive coach then talks to the officials and convinces them to throw a flag for illegally spiking the ball. This is incorrect. NFHS rules spiking the ball to conserve time 7-5-2E exception, table 7-5-2E exception, table 7-5E exception. The exception to allow a player to conserve time by intentionally throwing the ball forward to the ground immediately after receiving the snap has been expanded to include any player positioned directly behind the center. This exception now includes snaps that are not hand-to-hand. So basically, a shotgun snap is just as good as a hand-to-hand snap as long as that player receives the ball and spikes it immediately. So this should not have been a foul for an illegal pass. This was a legal grounding play to conserve time, which is within the rules for high school. So review that this week as games now are especially close as we get towards the end of games. No end of timing rules, end of half rules, and especially this particular rule. Go out and have great games. Hope everybody travels safe. And if you have to endure winter weather, take it slow. Give yourself plenty of time. Have a great weekend of football.
Thank you for watching week number 10 of our Monday morning quarterback clips. Good luck to all of our playoff and state tournament officials as they begin work this weekend in our 6- and 8-man tournament.